Shishi Radha Vrindavan Gauranga Maha Gita Champions League. He has spearheaded GCL, an initiative to connect the school children to the wisdom of Gita through a medium of a fun contest. Till date, more than 12,000 children from across 120 schools all over Goa benefited from this program. Children at Sunday School has pioneered a weekly Sunday program for urban school children to inculcate right values and culture in them. Right now, there is a wing of children program in every major city of Goa, and also youth preaching. He has been teaching the principles of Bhagavad Gita to students of BITS Pilani, GAC, GMC, right, PES colleges. Apart from these, actually, Prabhuji, I also would like to tell about few points about Prabhuji. Prabhuji, from in Goa, from starting only from preaching, Prabhuji was there, and he only how take this child from starting. So from starting preaching, he was there in Goa, and then he, because of his guidance and all, now almost 12 to 13 centers are there under Prabhuji is taking care and guiding them. And it's like normally we can see, if a person is there, we only loved by that community only. It's not like that does not belong to Prabhuji, because all the community, all the centers in the Goa, everyone loves Prabhuji because of his unconditional love and intense care towards them. Prabhuji. That is the most beautiful thing we can say about Prabhuji actually. And yeah, there are so much I can tell, but now we are going to speak. Prabhuji will be giving lecture on lessons from the Ramayana, and we can let us welcome His Grace Achyut Gopal Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivara Dari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivara Dari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जाय मुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तेर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे
रामचंद्राय वेदसे
रघुनाथाय नाथाय
रघुनाथाय नाथाय
सीताये पतये नमः Hare Krishna. So very happy to be here amidst all the wonderful devotees at Hyderabad. This is called Gornitai House. So very happy to be here. So this is a very beautiful concept that I'm seeing first time in ISKCON, in the history of ISKCON. Hyderabad has done something very unique. Generally, you have a temple and then you have community of grahasthas around the temple. Here, there is a community of grahasthas building up, and then temple and the deities have come. Just yesterday morning, day before morning, Saturday morning, I was in Singapore township. So there also, it's such a beautiful concept. All grahasthas staying around, and then Krishna has arranged a temple for them also. So this is so very inspirational. In the Krishna conscious movement, the reality is the number of brahmacharis are very less. The grahasthas are more. So it is ultimately a grahastha run movement. If you see the Panchatattva, out of the Panchatattva, 3 are grahasthas. Again, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, Nityanand Prabhu. In one sense, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So actually, Panchatattva also literally like 4 are grahasthas, just one Gadadhar Pandit. So this is a grahastha run movement, literally so many grahasthas, and it is so wonderful to see grahasthas running the show, grahasthas managing everything, and once a while some brahmacharis come to give inspiration. So it's very, I've been like very highly inspired. I was telling Shiv Sagar Prabhu and his good wife that as a brahmachari to practice Krishna consciousness is little easier because you have a lot of time at your disposal. You know, you can chant, you can do some preaching. Being a grahastha, managing family, managing work, and then preaching and pushing on this mission is something this is really laudable. So my humble respects to all the wonderful devotees here who are setting up this very beautiful model. I don't think so such a model is there anywhere around the world. It's a very beautiful concept. So very happy to be here. So because coming Sunday, just in a few days, is Ram Navami, the beautiful and the most auspicious appearance of Lord Ramachandra. So we will speak something from the Ramayana. Srila Prabhupada and all our Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, have given us such a beautiful process from one festival to another. We just completed Gohar Purnima. Now we are already getting into the Ram Navami mood, right? So and then after that Rath Yatra and some festival or the other keeps coming. So Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada has given us a process that is simply blissful. One festival to another, one dham to another, one deity to another. That's it. Just like the life of Srila Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was in Govardhan. He had darshan of Gopalji there. From there, he goes to Remuna. He has darshan of Khirchor Gopinath. From there, he comes to Jagannath Puri. He has darshan of Jagannath. Then he keeps going back. So this is what we have to do in life. One festival to another, one dham to another, one deity to another. That's it. One Krishna Katha, Ram Katha, whatever, Mahaprabhu's pastime. Just keep hearing this, and in this way, we actually go back to the spiritual world. So Ramayana is a very important book, and Ramayana teaches us so many lessons that we can actually meditate on and apply in our life. The actual meaning of the word Ramayan literally means the journey of Lord Ram. And in the journey of Lord Ram is showing that it's not that Lord Ram, he's the Supreme Lord, he doesn't have to face any problems as such. But when he comes as a human being in this human form, he shows us that in life there will be ups and downs. And the Ramayana is filled with things like that. Happily lived ever after has never happened in Ramayana. Something or the other keeps coming and something or the other keeps changing. But Ramayana also teaches us this very important principle that if we learn to take shelter of higher powers, if we learn to see everything as an opportunity, then we can actually grow in life. So this is the beautiful journey of Ramayana. Whenever we go for yatras, I generally tell devotees, yatra is a 4-5 day thing that we go with devotees. But in one sense, life is also a yatra. Life is also a journey. And in the journey of life, somehow we have to go deeper into our life and try to develop this connection with Krishna. Try to develop this eagerness to achieve Krishna. So the Ramayana has technically 7 kandas, 7 sections. The first is the Bala Kand. Second is the Ayodhya Kand. Third is the Aranya Kand. Fourth is the Kishkinda Kand. Fifth is the Sundar Kand. Sixth is the Yuddha Kand. And seventh is the Uttar Kand. So Balakand starts with the birth of Ram. Balakand ends with the marriage of Ram. The Ayodhya Kand starts with the conspiracy that happens in Ayodhya. Ram being sent to the forest for 14 years, that whole drama. And it ends with Bharat meeting Lord Ram in Chitrakoot and trying to convince Ram, but Ram doesn't agree. So Bharat comes back with the Paduka of Lord Ram. This is technically Ayodhya Kand. The Aranya Kand starts after Bharat leaves Lord Ram. The 13 years what he does in the forest life in Chitrakoot, Dandakaranya, and then finally in Panchavati, Nasik, how Ravan comes, kidnaps Sita. This is the subject matter of Aranya Kand. After Aranya Kand is Kishkinda Kand. So now Sita is gone. Ravan has taken away Sita. So Lord Ram is searching Sita and he gets the clue that Sugriv will, in Kishkinda, he will get help. So Lord Ram comes from Ayodhya, from Chitrakoot, from the north all the way south. He comes to Kishkinda. And in Kishkinda Kand, you have Ram meeting Sugriv, Lord Ram killing Sugriv, that whole pastime that happens. And Kishkinda Kand ends with Sugriv sending the monkeys in all the 4 directions. That's how Kishkinda Kand ends. The Sundar Kand, which is the most beautiful section of the Ramayana, which is the 5th Kand. Sundar Kand begins with the jump of Hanumanji, of how Hanumanji goes to Lanka, his actions there and his adventures in Lanka, how he meets Ravan, how he destroys Ashok Vatika. And then Sundar Kand ends with Hanumanji coming back to Ram and Ram embracing Hanumanji. That's the way Sundar Kand ends. Yuddha Kand starts with Lord Ram taking his entire monkey soldiers to Rameshwaram, crossing. It took them literally 14 days to reach Rameshwaram. Then to cross, it took them 2-3 days. And then 7 days of fight. This is how, and then the killing of Ravan. This is how Yuddha Kand ends. And finally, Uttarakhand is when Lord Ram comes back to Ayodhya on the Pushpak Viman of Ravan, and Lord Ram is coronated. Now he's the king. I mean, imagine, so much had to happen. I mean, he had to be sent to the forest and this, that, and now he's finally Sita kidnapped, and now finally he's made the king. But the story doesn't end here. Happily lived ever after doesn't happen here also. After that, some people in Ayodhya start to speak that how is Ram keeping Sita who stayed in another man's house? And then Ram had to send Sita away to the forest, to the ashram of Valmiki. And in this way, how Lord Ram rules for, I think, 16,000 years or something like that, a long period, the rule of Lord Ram. And then finally, how Lord Ram departs from this world, ending his pastime. So this is Uttarakhand. So in 10 minutes, we have summed up entire Ramayana. The whole Ramayana done in 10 minutes. So this is the journey of Lord Ram. So today what we will do is we will try to get a little into the first Kand of Ramayana, which is the Bala Kand. Bala Kand itself is very long, lot of lessons into it. But we will try to do like an overview of the Bala Kand, whatever time permits. So the Bala Kand of Ramayana, or the Ramayana itself, begins with a question. Valmiki has a question to Narad Muni. He meets Narada, and what is Valmiki's question? Valmiki is questioning Narada, who is the greatest hero? Whom should I actually worship? So this is something very beautiful. Ramayana begins with a question. Bhagavatam begins with a question. Bhagavad Gita begins with a question. All our most important books begin with a question. Srila Prabhupada in the first canto, the second chapter, where the Shaunakadi rishis have asked 7 questions to Sutta Goswami, Prabhupada mentions that in this world, everyone is asking questions and answers. Everyone is seeking questions and asking questions and seeking answers. But none of these question answers can actually satisfy the soul. What can actually satisfy the soul is when we inquire about Krishna. Therefore, the first verse of Vedanta Sutra says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. We have got this human form of life to question about Krishna. This should be our question. In today's world, people don't know what to question also. So Ramayana begins with this question, this eagerness of Valmiki Muni to find out who that supreme hero is and whom to worship. Yesterday we were discussing in the Bhagavatam class, this kind of eagerness to understand Krishna is the price we have to pay to actually achieve Krishna. Rupa Goswami says, Lolyam ekamulyam. This kind of greed to know about Krishna is the only way one can actually achieve God. So when someone is very desperate to understand more, when someone is very desperate to achieve Krishna, Krishna sends help to such a person. The Bhagavad Gita says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. So just seeing all of you all, I'm so inspired. I've not seen any satsang where everyone is with notes and everyone is writing. All of you are actually very, very sincere. So all of you all bless me that I can also develop some sincerity. So, yeah. So Lord Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yuktana. When someone is very eager to know about God, when someone is very eager to advance, Krishna sends help automatically. Just like the pastime of Dhruva. Dhruva went to the forest to see Krishna, but he had no clue how to find Krishna. But to help Dhruva, the Lord sent Narada. So this kind of sincere inquiry is needed. So Valmiki is asking this question to Narad Muni, who is the greatest hero? So this discussion is happening in Treta Yuga. So at that time, Narada tells Valmiki Muni that there is only one person in this world who has all the good virtues, who is powerful, grateful, truthful, determined, compassionate, who has all these virtues together, good looking, and he is Lord Ram. This is what Narad tells Valmiki and goes. till now, Valmiki Muni has not come in touch with Lord Ram. He's not seen Lord Ram till now. So Valmiki, Narad Muni goes away, and Valmiki is meditating on the qualities of Lord Ram. Right at that time, Valmiki goes to take bath along with his disciple Bharadwaj Muni on the bank of Tamasa Nadi. So as Valmiki, so this ashram of Valmiki Muni is still there. When you go towards Chitrakoot, the ashram of Valmiki Muni is there, where all these pastimes actually happen. So Valmiki Muni, along with Bharadwaj, he is going to take bath in a river, and he sees two birds, two croucher birds, male and female birds, enjoying with each other. And when Valmiki sees this, generally sadhus don't see such scenes, but somehow Krishna just inspired Valmiki to see this scene. And Valmiki was just looking at how these two birds are enjoying. Suddenly, one arrow comes and enters into the heart of one of the male bird, the croucher bird, and the male bird dies. So when Valmiki sees this, Valmiki is feeling so much pain in his heart, because for a sadhu, when the sadhu sees that others suffer, the sadhu is very much, he feels very bad about it. Para dukkha dukhi. The Chaitanya Bhagavat explains, Madhavendra Puri, he was such a great soul. He was completely in love of Krishna. It is explained in Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita. There were only three people who could experience Krishna Prem to the level that Radharani experienced. One was Radharani herself, the other was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the third was Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri was highly elevated. He was so blissful in Krishna consciousness. But Madhavendra Puri had only one pain. The pain was people are not taking up to the path of bhakti. This was the only suffering of Madhavendra Puri. So Valmiki Muni, being a great sage, when he saw this bird suffer like this, Valmiki was very pained. And from his mouth, a curse came. Generally, a sadhu of the level of Valmiki, he will not utter curses like that. Probably Durvasa would have uttered, but Valmiki would generally not utter. But suddenly from the mouth of Valmiki, without his control, a curse came. And Valmiki comes back to his ashram. He doesn't know why that curse came and what happened. So he just goes back to his ashram. But after he goes back to his ashram, that same curse, which was in the form of a very beautiful shloka, keeps repeating in his mind. And Valmiki is thinking, why am I reminding that same curse again and again? Right at that time, in the ashram of Valmiki, Brahmaji comes. And Brahmaji tells Valmiki, that shloka, in the form, that curse in the form of a shloka, was inspired by me in your heart. And I want you to write the entire Ramayana in that same meter of that shloka. That will be the first shloka of Ramayana. You write the entire Ramayana in that meter. And Brahmaji goes. So Ramayana begins with a shok, a cause of lamentation, a sorrow, a sorrowful scene, which later became into the first shloka of Ramayana. Similarly, we find in Bhagavad Gita, so Ramayana in one sense started with this lamentation of Valmiki. The situation of sorrow turned out to be a shlokas of the Ramayana. In Bhagavad Gita, similarly, we see Arjuna is in the mood of shok. The first chapter of Gita, Arjuna keeps his bow and arrow and says, I will not fight. Shoka samvigna manasa. Arjuna's mind is filled with shoka. He tells Krishna, I will not fight. And he keeps the arrow down. And that shoka of Arjuna inspired Arjuna to take shelter of Krishna. And that led to the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavatam also we find the same thing. Parikshit, just like here, Valmiki begins the Ramayana with a curse. The Bhagavatam also begins with a curse in one sense, isn't it? Parikshit is cursed that he will die in 7 days. But that curse, because Parikshit took shelter of Bhagavatam, the shlokas of Bhagavatam, that curse led to something very, very beautiful. So in all our lives, We may have to go through shoka. We may have to go through sorrow, difficulties. But when we take shelter of shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, therefore Srila Prabhupada made this process Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Do every day morning Bhagavatam class, in the evening discuss something on Bhagavad Gita. So someone may say, an outsider may not connect to this. What are these devotees doing? Why they're not utilizing that time properly? But this is the best utilization of time. When you are crying, when you are suffering, which book can help you? Can your history, geography, any of these books help you? None of these books can help you. But these scriptures can take you away from your shoka. Parikshit, he was supposed to die in 7 days, but when he heard Bhagavatam, Parikshit was not at all bothered about his curse because he was experiencing a higher taste. So, similarly, in all our lives, we may have to go through our bit of suffering, which is unavoidable in this world. But if we take shelter of Krishna Katha, we will transcend all the suffering. So, the shoka of in the heart of Valmiki transformed into the shloka. And Valmiki sits there to meditate. And in his meditation, he sees the entire Ramayana. Valmiki, Ramayana is called Itihas because Ramayana was written when Ram was there. But Valmiki didn't see all the pastimes of Ram. It is not that every time Ram did this, he was noting. He didn't see it. Just by the inspiration of his guru, he could actually see the whole thing. Similarly, Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, Vyasdev, the same principle. Vyasdev is sitting in his ashram, in Badrika ashram, and Narad Muni, just like here, Brahmaji is telling Valmiki, you write Bhagavatam, you write Ramayana. Valmiki is following the instructions. Automatically, knowledge is revealed to him. Vyasdev in the Bhagavatam, Narad Muni tells Vyasdev, write Bhagavatam, and Narad goes. So Vyasdev, following the instructions of his guru, sits to meditate, and in his meditation, he can see Krishna. Sakshat, he is seeing Krishna with all his energies. She is seeing Krishna with Maya, and he's inspired to write the entire Bhagavatam. So when the order of the guru comes, when we follow it, automatically all knowledge comes. So this is something very interesting. The author of Ramayana, in one sense, never saw Ramayana happening. Still he wrote it. In our Sampradaya, we have Chaitanya Charitamrit, written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami never saw Mahaprabhu. Never saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Still is writing on Mahaprabhu. You may say, how is it possible? It's possible. Because when someone has empowerment, instructions of Guru, you follow it, everything else is possible. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, one of our great acharyas, he had a servant called Bihari Das. He was an illiterate. So Babaji Maharaj tells Bihari Das, please read Chaitanya Bhagavat for me. Bihari Das says, Maharaji, I don't know to read, I'm an illiterate. Babaji Maharaj says, just start. And this fellow starts to read. In sometimes he learns Bengali also. And he's just reciting the entire verses. So just by following the orders of Guru, all empowerment comes. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Srila Prabhupada gave credit to his Guru because Prabhupada followed the instructions of his Guru 100%, automatically all success came. So Valmiki sits and writes the entire Ramayana down, 24,000 verses. Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses, Ramayana has 24,000 verses. He writes the entire Ramayana in that same meter. So Ramayana is something that can be sung, especially in North India. You'll have people who sing Valmiki Ramayana in tune. So Valmiki wrote the entire Ramayana down. After writing Ramayana, Valmiki was thinking, writing Ramayana is one part of it, but the Ramayana has to be preached also, right? The mission of writing Ramayana is just not to write Ramayana. But Brahmaji, being Adi Guru, he wanted the message to go around. So Valmiki was thinking, whom should I use to preach this message? So Valmiki, right in front of him, there were two people, Love and Kush. Because when Valmiki is doing this, at that time, Sita had already been banished and she came to the ashram of Valmiki. And Love and Kush were born there. So therefore, Valmiki decides, let me give this knowledge of Ramayana to Love and Kush. Here is another very interesting point. Why did Lord choose Valmiki to be the author of Ramayana? Because first in the life of Valmiki, before Brahma coming and inspiring him, you write Ramayana, Sita actually comes there. So because Sita came there, Sita became that inspiration so that Valmiki could be the author of Ramayana. So Valmiki taught the entire Ramayana to these two children, the children of Lord Ram, Love and Kush. He trained his disciples and he told them, go around now and preach. So this is the mood. This is in Treta Yuga, but the mood right from Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga is the mood of preaching. And Srila Prabhupada so much embodied this mood of prachar. Just go around and preach. Yare deke tare kahe Krishna Upadesh. Just go and preach to everyone and anyone about Krishna consciousness. So Love and Kush, the sons of Ram, what are they doing? Literally, they are going from street to street chanting Ramayana, chanting the glories of Lord Ram. So preaching is such a exalted activity, such an exalted activity. Even the children of Lord Ram, even Lord Krishna personally as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hit the streets and actually go and give this message to everyone. So this is such an important activity. So Love and Kush, they are traveling around the land of India, spreading the message of Ramayana. Now, if the culture of Ramayana is so vibrant around the land of India and around the world, it is because Love and Kush started this process, right? Someone has to be the start of it. Our six Goswamis, this is something very interesting. The six Goswamis, the principal disciples of Mahaprabhu, they were the most intelligent people. There cannot be anyone more intelligent than them. But Mahaprabhu didn't tell them to preach. If you study the life of the six Goswamis, you'll never find that the six Goswamis were giving a pravachan and thousands of people and sitting and hearing them. Why? Because Mahaprabhu told them, go to Vrindavan. Now in Vrindavan Dham, whom you will preach to? Everyone is already Krishna conscious. Whom will you preach to? So all the six Goswamis, literally in their life, they never gave any public class. The only thing they did in Vrindavan was they sat and wrote books. They sat and wrote the books. And then later on, the disciples of Jiva Goswami, Shyamananda, Narottam, Srinivas, they take these books around. So this is the Lord's plan. First write books and then someone preaches on the basis of books. Srila Prabhupada followed the same formula. Before Prabhupada went to America, Prabhupada first sat in Radha Damodar temple and wrote Bhagavatam. And with that Bhagavatam copy, with that book, Prabhupada went to America and started to preach. So Love and Kush, they are going around this land of India preaching this message. And Ramayana itself is so beautiful. Now you can imagine two small children reciting Ramayana. When an elderly person recites, that's one level. But when a small child speaks about Krishna consciousness, it is altogether different. Everyone gets attracted. So Love and Kush, they were singing it so beautifully with all the emotions and everything like that. And in this way, traveling everywhere, they reached Ayodhya. And in Ayodhya, in the presence of Ram, they started to recite Ramayana. So Lord Ram invites Love and Kush to recite Ramayana right in his palace, in his sabha. So it is explained that when Love and Kush were reciting Ramayana, the story of Ramayana is so attractive. It's so attractive. You can just go on hearing for hours and hours. As soon as Love and Kush started Ramayana, all the ministers, all the citizens of Ayodhya were sitting there, were so engrossed, they forgot time completely. Ram, who was sitting 18 steps above on the throne, Ram was so attracted to his own katha, Ram got down from his throne and started to sit with others. And Ram started to listen to Ramayana. So Ramayana, Krishna katha is so attractive that the Lord is also attracted to his own pastimes. What is the reason of Mahaprabhu's appearance? One of the reasons of Mahaprabhu's appearance is Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but he is wanting to taste Krishna katha. So therefore he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ramayana is so attractive that the Lord also comes. So the understanding, the lesson for all of us here is that when we actually engage in the hearing the pastimes of the Lord, just by participating in the process of Krishna consciousness, Shravanam Kirtanam, the process is so powerful that it can actually bring the Lord from the spiritual world down to the material world. The Lord can get attracted wherever devotees sit and hear Krishna Katha. So Love and Kush begin the Ramayana by explaining that once upon a time there was a kingdom of Koshala, and the capital of this Koshala kingdom was called Ayodhya. I remember in my childhood, our grandmother would keep reciting these stories, and every time we would hear this, once upon a time there was a king called Dasharath and a place called Ayodhya. We would be so eager to hear these pastimes of the Lord. Even though we might have, there's nothing new. It's not that this Ram Navami will have some new Ram Katha. It's the same Ram Katha you are going to hear. I mean, some things here and there, but it's the same Ram Katha. But the pastimes of the Lord are so attractive that you can keep hearing it again and again and again. So Love and Kush begin the description that once upon a time there was a kingdom called Koshala, and in this kingdom was the capital Ayodhya. What is the meaning of the word Ayodhya? Ayodhya means that which is unconquerable, which cannot be conquered with Yuddha. So Ayodhya has two meanings. The meaning of the word Ayodhya. The first meaning is Ayodhya was such a powerful kingdom, the king of Ayodhya was so powerful that no external enemy could conquer Ayodhya. Very powerful security system, external security system. But more importantly, Ayodhya was called Ayodhya because the internal security system of all the citizens was so proper that lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, illusion could never enter into anyone's heart. All the residents of Ayodhya had pure hearts. None of these anarthas ever entered into their hearts. So this is the actual meaning of Ayodhya. Prabhupada very often explains people want Ram Rajya. Everyone is desperate for Ram Rajya, the perfect kingdom, the perfect city. But that perfect city comes when we follow the principles of Ram Rajya, the principles of Ayodhya. In the principles of Ayodhya, the king would rule in such a way that everyone would be Krishna conscious. That was the aim. Srila Prabhupada time and again in the purpose of Bhagavatam explains, we need a ruler who is very Krishna conscious so that he can see that people around also have a very pure life. So Ayodhya was the perfect city. But in this perfect city, there was one problem. And the problem was Dasharath didn't have children. This is material world. Everything perfect, but something missing. You cannot have perfections here. Something will be missing in life. One time, there was a boy, he wanted to, play a prank in his school. So he took 3 goats, 3 sheeps, and left it in the school. And these goats, after the school time, he left it in the school. And these goats went around in the school and, put their goat dung everywhere. They messed the entire school up. But this boy, he had numbered the goats as 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, and 4. He left the goats. So next day morning, the school people come. They open the doors and they see, goat dung everywhere. And they're finding out where these goats are. They find 3 goats. 1, 2, 4. They're thinking, where is number 3? They are finding everywhere. They announce that today's only thing that we will do in the school is find goat number 3. They declare a school holiday just to find goat 3. But there is no goat 3 at all. So similarly in this world, material world is such that there will be something missing in your life. Life will never be perfect. At some point in life, a job may be a problem for you. As soon as you complete that, something else will go missing. Health will go missing. As soon as you complete that, wealth will go missing. Something or the other will go missing. So this material world is never going to be complete. So Dasharath had everything in life, but he didn't have children. Actually, Dasharath had one daughter. The name of this daughter was Shanta. So Dasharath had a daughter called Shanta, but Dasharath had a very close friend, Rompad Maharaj. So King Rompad, was a very dear friend of Dasharath. So Dasharath, he was thinking, surely in future I will have children. So let me give my daughter to Rompad. And he gave his daughter to Rompad. So Dasharath, one characteristic of Dasharath right from the beginning is he has always been too overconfident. Right? So he was too confident that I will have sons pakka. So Rompad, you take my daughter. So he gave his daughter to Rompad. But this he's not having children. Now once you give something, you can't ask it back. So he couldn't go to his friend and ask the daughter back. So Dasharath is waiting and waiting and waiting for children. Finally, Sumantra, who is a very intelligent minister of Dasharath, he comes and tells Dasharath that long time ago, the Sanat Kumar, one of the four Kumaras, had predicted that when you do a Ashwamedh Yagya and a Putra Kameshti Yagya, and when you call Rishi Shringa to do this Yagya, then you will be blessed with children. So Dasharath goes to Rompad. As I told you, the daughter of Dasharath was Shanta. He was given to Rompad. This daughter of Dasharath, Shanta, was married to Rishi Shringa. And this same Rishi Shringa, Dasharath goes and says, please come to help me. And Rishi Shringa comes and performs the Ashwamedh Yagya and the Putra Kameshti Yagya. And the result was Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna are born to Dasharath. So here is a very important lesson. Because Dasharath served his friend selflessly, that same help comes back to him in a better way. He gave his daughter without thinking about himself. He gave his daughter. That same daughter got married to Rishi Shringa, and that same Rishi Shringa became the cause for giving not one son but 4 sons to Dasharath, and not ordinary sons. The Lord himself, Vishnu himself, comes in the form of 4 children, Vishnu Tattva. So this is a very important lesson. When we try to help others, and we'll find this lesson time and again coming in Ramayana, when we try to help others selflessly, that help comes back to us in some way or the other. We will not know how it comes, but it will definitely come back. So, so in this way, Dasharath does this Putra Kameshti Yagya through Rishi Shringa, and from the Putra Kameshti Yagya, celestial demigod comes with a kheer in hand and gives the kheer to Dasharath and tells Dasharath, please distribute this kheer to your wives. Dasharath had how many wives? 3, but actually scriptures explains he had 353 wives. So the story is 3 are the principal wives, but he had 350 more. The story is like this. During that time, there was Parshuram also in place. So Parshuram hated Kshatriyas. He had some, because the Kshatriya Kartivir Arjuna had killed his father. So Parshuram, he literally hated Kshatriyas. So when he would see Kshatriyas, he would kill them. But Parshuram had a condition. If a Kshatriya was sitting in a marriage ceremony, he wouldn't kill. So 350 times Parshuram comes to Ayodhya. And every time Parshuram came, Dasharath caught one lady and married her. So Dasharath had 350 wives plus 3, but no children. So when this kheer came, Dasharath gave it to his principal 3 wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi. So yesterday I was explaining in the Bhagavatam class how Dasharath distributes the kheer. The kheer that he had, he divides it into 2 halves. One half, the major half, he gives it to Kaushalya, being the eldest wife. And Kaushalya, as soon as she gets that kheer, she offers a prayer to God that let me have the Supreme Lord as my child and let my son be the king of the world. And she eats that kheer. Now the remaining half of that kheer, Dasharath again divides into two parts. That means now it's 1/4, 1/4. 1/4 of the kheer, Dasharath gives it to Sumitra. And Sumitra is holding the kheer. She doesn't eat it immediately. She's offering her prayers. Now what is left is 1/4. Dasharath again divides that 1/4 into 2 parts. 1/8, 1/8. And that 1/8 that was there, he gives it to Kaikeyi. And Kaikeyi immediately eats the kheer, praying for a son who will become very, very glorious. And she eats that kheer. Now the remaining 1/8 that was there, Dasharath was thinking whom to give to. To give it to Kaushalya, to give it to Kaikeyi, or to give it to Sumitra. Kaushalya had got a major chunk. The Supreme Lord is going to enter into a womb, so there will not be space for anyone else. So Dasharath doesn't give Kaushalya. Kaikeyi now the choice was between Sumitra and Kaikai. Kaikai was very beautiful. Dasharath was definitely attached to her. But at this point, Dasharath feels that Sumitra is all the more beautiful. Because Kaikai and Kaushalya immediately ate the kheer. But Sumitra, she was still holding to that kheer with a prayer. So because Sumitra had this kind of mood, she was ready to wait and she had this kind of gratitude, Dasharath gave that remaining 1/8 to Sumitra. So Sumitra already had a 1/4 kheer, now 1/8. So Sumitra eats that kheer, both the portions of kheer, with a prayer that let my children be the servants of these two children. And she eats that kheer. So yesterday we were speaking, this is the principle of Garbhadan Sanskar. Whatever prayers parents have, that is how the children manifest. So because Kaushalya had this mood that my son should be the king, he should be the servant of everyone, Ram appeared for Kaushalya. The next to be born was Bharat from Kaikai, because Kaikai ate it next. Bharat comes to bring great glory to the family by the kind of selflessness that he had, by the kind of service mood that he had. And Sumitra gives birth to twins because she got two portions. One was Lakshman and the other was Shatrughna. And the life of Lakshman and Shatrughna was based on service to these two brothers. Lakshman served Ram his entire life and Shatrughna served Bharat his entire life. So Sumitra like people are personalities who create bonding in this world, who create bonding. So it's very important that this sense of bonding is there. I was very happy to see pictures of so many Prabhupada's disciples, Jayapataka Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and all these Prabhupada disciples. So it's very important that this kind of unity is there. So therefore, we need Sumitra-like people. Sumitra-like people bring a unity in society. So Sumitra didn't want children who would fight. Sumitra wanted to give birth to children who would cooperate. So it's very important. Srila Prabhupada's last instruction was, your love to me will be shown by how you cooperate with each other after I'm gone. So this was the mood of Sumitra. So Ram appeared first on the day of Ram Navami. Just few hours later, Bharat appeared. And probably the next day, Lakshman and Shatrughna are born. The names of these four children also have a deep meaning. In today's world, people just give any names which has no meaning. Previously, the names of children would have a meaning to it. Right? Like Yudhishthir, what does Yudhishthir mean? One who's very steady in war. Bhima means one who is very powerful. One who is like a voracious eater. Like this, people would have names like this. So these children were named Ram, Lakshman, Bharata, Shatrughna. Vashishta named them, seeing their qualities. So what does the meaning of the word Rama? Rama means pleasure, the source of pleasure. So Ram, his entire life revolved around his name. Ram's mission in life was only one thing. He only wanted to give pleasure to people. He only wanted to serve people. Ram never thought about himself. So this is an ideal leader. There can be no better leader than Ram. So Ram is an ideal leader who is always thinking about others, not about himself. So Ram's entire life embodies this principle of seva, giving pleasure to others. Ram tried his very best not to hurt anyone. He didn't want to hurt anyone through any way. So many times we have various definitions of life. What do you consider a perfect life? Ideally, a perfect life is a life where you don't hurt anyone through our words, through our thoughts, through our actions. This should be the ideal standard that we have. Even if you are not able to do big projects, it's still okay. If at the end of our life we have not hurt anyone, then we can actually depart in a very, very peaceful way. So Ram's entire life revolved around this principle of giving seva. Just opposite to Ram was Ravan. What is the meaning of the word Ravan? Ravan means one who makes others cry. And this is what Ravan did his entire life. Ram, he would cry, but he would not make others cry. Again, he decided that I will suffer, but I will not make others suffer. Ravan's mood was completely opposite. For his enjoyment, he was ready to make anyone suffer and cry. So Ravan made literally hundreds and thousands of people cry. That was the meaning of Ravan. So Ram means one who gives pleasure to everyone. The word Lakshman means uh, one who's filled with wealth, Lakshmi. Lakshmano, Lakshmi Sampanna. So Lakshman, if you study Ramayana, his only wealth was service to the Lord. Because Lakshman, in one sense, if you study the entire life of Lakshman, Lakshman never became the king. When Ram was sent to the forest for 14 years, Lakshman was not supposed to go, but Lakshman also went. For 14 years, he was just a servant of Ram in the forest. When Ram became the king of Ayodhya, what was Lakshman doing? He remained a servant of Ram only. So, in one sense, he didn't enjoy wealth to that extent. For Lakshman, his only wealth was service to Ram, service to God. So, this is our eternal wealth. And this is a wealth that no one can steal it away from us. This wealth, we can eternally be wealthy. And in this wealth is such that, when you want to take more seva, no one will say no. People will say, "Theek hai, you take more seva. Just allow me to be free." Lakshman was so eager for the principle of service. The word Bharata. Bharata means one who is ready to take bhar. Bhar means burden. So Bharat's entire life was sharing the burden of responsibility. So Lord Ram went to the forest. Lakshman went along with Ram. Bharat also wanted to go with Ram. Bharat goes to Chitrakoot and tells Ram that I will also stay with you. Ram tells him nothing doing. You go to Ayodhya and rule. Your duty is to take responsibility. And Bharat took that full responsibility. 14 years when Ram was away, Bharat handled Ayodhya's entire management. And the beauty is, Bharat didn't even sit on the throne. He made Lord Ram's Paduka sit on the throne. And very far away on the outskirts of Ayodhya is a city, it's a village called Nandigram. Bharat stayed in that village exactly like Ram. He also wore matted hair. He also wore forest clothes. He also ate, barley soaked in cow urine. Very simple life, 14 years. But along with that, he managed the kingdom of Ayodhya so well. After 14 years, when Ram came, the kingdom of Ayodhya, the treasury house, had grown 10 times more. And Bharat handed it over to Ram. So Bharat is showing us this very important principle of taking responsibility. Taking responsibility. Just like all of you all, it's a very wonderful spirit that all of you all are taking responsibility. The Grahasthas here are taking responsibility to push on the mission. No one is giving an instruction. So there's one thing that you are told something and then you do it. But it's a higher thing that you understand what has to be done and you do it. You voluntarily take more and more responsibility. One time Srila Prabhupada was sitting with his disciples, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and so many other disciples. And one Gurukul boy raised his hand and asked Srila Prabhupada, why do you show so much mercy to Tamal Krishna? You have so many disciples, why are you showing some special mercy to Tamal? Prabhupada said, no, I am giving to mercy to everyone, but Tamal is very eager to take it. He's very eager to do service. So therefore, he takes the major chunk and goes. Right? So it's very important that we take responsibility to push on this mission of Krishna consciousness. So Bharat is the personality who wanted to expand the kingdom of Ram for the pleasure of Ram. So we also have this kind of responsibility to expand this movement of Krishna consciousness to more and more places, to more and more people. Srila Prabhupada was one time in America, and one young girl asked Srila Prabhupada, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God, why didn't he spread Krishna consciousness everywhere? Mahaprabhu could have done that, no? Mahaprabhu is Krishna, he could have spread Krishna consciousness everywhere. Prabhupada said, yes, he could have definitely done it. But if he would have done everything, what we would do? We also have to do something. If Mahaprabhu only does all the preaching, then what we will do? We will just eat prasad and go. That is also good. But Mahaprabhu wanted us to do something. So any area where there is no Krishna consciousness, you have to understand that it is your opportunity. You go and do something there. Right? You try to do your part. So Bharat took responsibility. Therefore, he became glorious. The word Shatrugna means one who kills Shatrus, one who kills enemies. But if you study the life of Shatrughna, the entire life of Shatrughna killed only one enemy. Right at the end, one person, one demon called Lavanasur was the king of Mathura. Shatrughna killed him. So Shatrughna reached Mathura even before Lord Krishna. Right? Now also there's a place in Madhuvan where Shatrughna killed Lavanasur. So Shatrughna killed only one demon called Lavanasur. But why is he called Shatrughna? So it is explained the biggest Shatru of Shatrughna was the beauty of Ram. This was his biggest enemy. That means Shatrughna also was very attracted to Ram. He also wanted to serve Ram, but he controlled it. He controlled it and focused on service to Bharat. He could have also served Ram like Lakshman, but he chose Lakshman is serving Ram, let me serve Bharat. So Bharat represents a devotee. So Shatrughna is literally servant of the servant. Lakshman is servant of God. Shatrughna is servant of the servant of God. So Lord Krishna in the Adi Puran tells Arjuna, one who says he is my servant, he is not my servant. Lord Krishna says, one who says who is my servant of my servant, he is actually my servant. So Shatrughna is teaching this very important principle of serving devotees, serving Vaishnavas. Only by serving Vaishnavas, serving Guru, one can actually achieve the mercy of God. There is another very interesting way we can understand the meanings of these four personalities. Ram represents Dharma. Lakshman represents Artha. For human being, these are four principles. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Generally, the four principles of life. Ram represents Dharma and Lakshman represents Artha, money. Ram and Lakshman were a jodi together. So what they are showing? That means Artha, money, should be used for Dharma. Money should be used in Krishna's service. That is the principle of using Artha. Srila Prabhupada, one time, there was one very rich glass merchant who came to meet Srila Prabhupada. He was doing glass business. So glass business, now you make silica from sand. So Prabhupada told him, see, you are making so much money. Krishna has given you sand. You are using Krishna's money and you are enjoying. Prabhupada told him, you are a thief. You are robbing Krishna's money. So this person said, Prabhupada, I give some donations also. Prabhupada said, then you are a small thief. Prabhupada said, you are a thief. You are taking Krishna's and then you are enjoying. So the point is, Artha is given by Krishna. Lakshmi should be used in the service of Dharma. That is the principle. So generally we use money for sense gratification, but money actually should be used in Krishna's service. So that's the idea. And then Bharat and Shatrughna were always together. Bharat represents moksha and Shatrughna represents kama. So kama, desires, should be aligned to achieve moksha. Desire should be meant to achieve God. The Bhagavatam has this shloka, kamasya nindriya priti labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa yashteha karmabhi. So it says, kamasya nindriya priti. Never use desires for sense gratification. Never use your desires to fulfill your own ambitions. Kamasya nindriya priti labho jiveta yavata. So the Bhagavatam says, whatever you get by honest endeavor, little endeavor, be satisfied. Don't over endeavor to enjoy in this world. Why? Because jivasya tattva jigyasa. Because the purpose of life is not to enjoy and to spend time in this, but the purpose of life is to achieve God. So therefore, one should focus one's desires in achieving moksha. So the Balakand, even though it's called Balakand of Ramayana, in 24,000 verses that Valmiki Muni speaks the entire Ramayana, the Balakand, the childhood of Ram, is described in 4 or 5 verses. Have you heard any childhood pastimes of Ram? Even though in Ayodhya there is Ram Lalla, but there is no childhood pastime of Ram that we have ever heard. Right? Never heard anything. So Valmiki Muni fast forwards the entire childhood pastime. Because Ram is not come to do childhood Leela. Ram is come as Maryada Purushottam. His main focus is the rule as the king and to set an example there. So the childhood is fast forwarded. But Krishna's childhood was very slow. Because Lord Krishna is Leela Purushottam. Krishna came to do pastime, so Krishna's childhood is explained in detail. Unlimited details are there. So Lord Ram gradually grows very, very fast. So Lord Ram is born. Balakand is like this of Lord Ram. Lord Ram is born. He goes to the ashram, the Gurukul of Vashishta, and I think Vamadev. They are teaching him all the knowledge of scriptures, Dhanur Vidya and all that. And suddenly now Lord Ram is 16 years old. That is the Balakand of Ramayana. Lord Ram now suddenly 16. That's how the whole thing is fast forwarded. And when Lord Ram reaches 16 years old, probably I'll speak for another 5-10 minutes. 10 minutes. So when Lord Ram is now 16 years old, Dasharath is thinking, let me get Ram married now. Because he's now 16 years old, let me plan for his marriage. So Dasharath is having a meeting. I'm like, I'm not going too fast, also too slow, also at some pace. So Dasharath is having a meeting with all his ministers. And the agenda of the meeting is how to find and who will be the right match for Ram. This is the agenda. And as they're having the discussion, suddenly there is chaos. The soldiers are scared and suddenly something happens. And Vishwamitra Muni enters. Real Atiti. Without notice he enters. And Dasharath is thinking what is happening. And Dasharath first he becomes very happy. As I told you, Dasharath is like very overconfident. He tells Vishwamitra, you have come. It is as if like after years of drought, rain has come and I'm so happy. Vishwamitra asks, anything I will give you. Dasharath has done this many times. He's landed in trouble. Right? You ask anything, I'll give. So Vishwamitra is very happy with the welcome of Dasharath. So Vishwamitra says, Maricha, Subhahu and Tataka, they are creating a lot of problems for my yajna. I want Ram to help me. And Dasharath is devastated. Dasharath is thinking, why did I promise? Now you can't take the promise back. And Dasharath in his mind, he was thinking, this Vishwamitra, his name is Vishwamitra. What does Vishwamitra mean? Friend of the universe. But this fellow is my enemy. This fellow is the enemy of the universe. Vishwa Amitra. He is the enemy of the universe. This is how Dasharath is thinking. So mind, just see this. Some time ago, Dasharath was thinking, you are the greatest person. You are the well-wisher of everyone. This is what Dasharath is thinking. You are my greatest friend. Next moment, Dasharath is thinking, this fellow is my enemy. Mind, this is the nature of the mind. Sankalpa, Vikalpa. It will keep hopping between these two platforms. Accept, reject, friend, enemy. This is how the mind will keep going. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, all the scriptures tell us, we have to go beyond this duality. We have to go beyond duality. Material world means duality. Friend, enemy, heat, cold, honor, dishonor, all these things will keep happening. Good time, good news, bad news. But we have to go beyond it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his song, he explains, Sampade vipade taha takuk samabhave dine dine vriddhi hauk namera prabhave. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear Lord, give me the strength to see good times and bad times equally. Because both is ultimately a dream. Like in the night you have a dream, and you have a real bad dream. You don't get up in the morning and tell everyone, message everyone, you know what, I had a very bad dream. This is what I saw in the dream. Or if you had like a very good dream, you became a king in the dream. You don't get up in the morning and message everyone, you know what, this is what I saw. So dream is a dream. Good or dream, bad dream, it's just a dream, just forget it. So similarly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, in good times, bad times, let me see it equally, but let my chanting of the holy names, taste for the holy names increase day by day. So when Dasharath was seeing Vishwamitra, first he saw him as a friend, now he's seeing him as an enemy. And Dasharath is thinking, why did this Vishwamitra come? I'm making a plan and suddenly this guy comes. Prabhupada often uses this phrase, man proposes, God disposes. You have a certain plan, the whole thing is disposed. Prabhupada would tell this story. I think there was one during Prabhupada's time when Prabhupada was in Bengal, in his Grahastha days, there was one very famous politician. He was going to the assembly to do a fire planning. And on the way he met with an accident and he died. Prabhupada says this fellow is going to do fire planning, but he didn't know someone else is planning for him. That's how it is. When we make our plans, Krishna sitting on top is laughing. Chalo, you make. Then I will show you what my plan is. Krishna will just destroy the whole thing up. So Dasharath was making his plans, and suddenly now Vishwamitra has come. And Dasharath is thinking, why is this happening? He's not able to understand. And Dasharath tells Vishwamitra, please, Ram is just a small boy. Because for Dasharath, see, when you get something after a very long time, now you're very attached. Dasharath had a long wait. He was very old now. He was quite old because he got these children at a very old age. So Dasharath was very attached to Ram, and Ram being the Supreme Lord, very, very attached. So Dasharath was feeling so bad. He was feeling so insecure and fearful. He told Vishwamitra, Ram is just a small boy. He's not fought in his life. He's never seen a war. Small war also he's not seen. Maricha, Subahu, they are very powerful people. And Dasharath says, Ram, when evening comes, when the sun sets, his eyes also set. He's not seen the night. To fight with these demons, you have to be awake in the night. Ram falls sleepy in the night. How will he fight? Dasharath says, I am Dasharath. I have conquered Shambhas who are powerful enemies. I will come with my entire Ayodhya soldiers and I will protect. But Vishwamitra says, no. You want to give me Ram, otherwise I'm going. And Vishwamitra is storming out of the palace. And now Vishwamitra, when he goes angry like that, it's like a big thing for the entire Ayodhya. So that time Vashishta comes there and Vashishta tells Dasharath, understand the situation. Don't get emotional. Understand the situation. Vishwamitra is actually Vishwamitra. He has come for your good only. You are seeing him as your enemy, but he's actually a friend disguised as an enemy. He's a blessing disguised as a curse. So we can never take anyone or any situation in this world on face value. Who comes to be apparently our enemy could eventually turn out to be a friend. Yesterday we were discussing these pastimes. Dhruva was badly hurt by his stepmother. Suruchi badly hurt Dhruva. I mean, spoke such words to Dhruva. Dhruva was feeling that she is my enemy. Suruchi is my enemy because she's hurting me so badly. But if Suruchi didn't speak what she spoke, Dhruva would be in the palace only. Because Suruchi spoke what she spoke, Dhruva went to the forest and he saw Vishnu. So Suruchi's friend or enemy, whom he considered enemy, was actually the friend. In the same Bhagavatam, you have Vidura. Duryodhan spoke such ill words to Vidura. But Vidura was thinking, good. Duryodhan is my well-wisher. Because if Duryodhan didn't speak all this, I would be attached to the palace. I wouldn't have never left the palace. Because Duryodhan spoke this, Duryodhan has given me an opportunity to do Tirth Yatra. Vidura wanted to do for a very long time. He was not finding that excuse. He said, good. Now I will use this excuse to go away. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you'll find in Mahaprabhu's pastimes, the same things playing again and again. Mahaprabhu, when he was a Grahastha, Mahaprabhu was just thinking, I have to do something to expand this Krishna consciousness movement beyond Navadip. Because Mahaprabhu's preaching was going on in Navadip. It's not going on beyond it. So Mahaprabhu was thinking, I have to do something. So there was one Brahmana in Navadip who was very angry at Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, because he was not given entry into Shrivas Sangan. So one day when Nimai Pandit is going to take bath in Ganga, this Brahmana goes there. He's so angry, he breaks his Brahman thread and curses Nimai Pandit. I curse you, your material life will be finished. Mahaprabhu said, thank you. I was just waiting for someone to curse. And Mahaprabhu used that as an excuse to take sannyas. So anytime something wrong happens in our life, we have to understand that there may be some hidden message behind it. There may be something better behind it. So Vashishta is trying to convince Dasharath, that Vishwamitra is actually your friend, probably in the disguise of an enemy, but he's your friend. Vishwamitra is not an ordinary person. Vishwamitra can easily kill Maricha, Subahu, Tataka. For him, it is no problem. But one thing, he wants to give Ram a chance. He wants to make Ram glorious, first thing. Second is, Vishwamitra has taken a vow of not getting angry because he's doing this yajna. Therefore, he wants Ram to protect. And more importantly, Vashishta tells Dasharath, if Ram goes with Vishwamitra, Vishwamitra will give Ram knowledge of all divine missiles. Because Vishwamitra has a lot of divine missiles with him, he will give all those divine missiles knowledge to Ram. So Vashishta tells Ram, Ram has got his education in Ayodhya. But what he will get going outside Ayodhya will be the real education. So in life, generally for parents feel that children's education is they go to school, come back from school, education is over, right? From the time they step out of school, education is over. But real schooling starts outside the school. That's where real schooling starts. Life itself is a school that can teach us so many things. So Vashishta is telling Dasharath, you are becoming attached to your son, but your attachment to your son will not help your son grow. Let him fly. Ram is not meant to stay in Ayodhya. Ram is meant to go to the world. Right? When Lord Krishna was born in Mathura, as soon as Lord Krishna was born, Krishna left Mathura and Krishna goes to Vrindavan. Krishna stayed 11.5 years in Vrindavan. Krishna leaves Vrindavan and goes. Although Brajavasis were attached to Krishna, but they understood that Krishna is not meant to be restricted in one place. Krishna is meant to go around. Right? So Ram is meant to go around. Ram is meant to grow. Please allow him to grow. And with the inspiration of Vashishta, Dasharath sends Ram and Lakshman with Vishwamitra. So this Balakand, I have to push also ahead, but this Balakand is called Balakand because childhood pastimes of Ram is not there only here. The Bal in Balakand is Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra's journey, if he explained, it will take an hour or so. Very exciting, adventurous journey of Vishwamitra. But Vishwamitra, in his life, he was actually a powerful king. After that, his ambition changed. Like people have ambitions, na? Ambitions keep changing in life. Like you ask a small child, what do you want to become? The child will say, I want to become Sachin Tendulkar. At that level, that's what he understands. After 10 years, his ambition will change. After 20 years, his ambition will change. Desires keep changing. So Vishwamitra is such a personality, his desires keep changing. He was a very powerful king. He got all celestial weapons from Lord Shiva. Then he decided, I want to become a Brahma Rishi. From being a Kshatriya, he changed his profession completely. Like you have software engineers. Suddenly they become into architects or they get into construction line. Complete change of profession. Or software engineer getting into management completely. Complete change. So Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya. Now he wanted to become a Brahmana. So he became Maharishi, Rajarishi, Maharishi, then Brahma Rishi finally, after years and years of austerities. And for this, he had to sacrifice so much. Vishwamitra lost all his children. He felt one time to Urvashi, second time he became angry at Ramba, and so many things happened in Vishwamitra's life. And finally, Vishwamitra is growing in his maturity. See, in life now, as we told in the beginning, Ramayana shows us that life is like a journey. Like Lord Ram is learning various lessons at different points. Vishwamitra is also going through his journey in life. See, in the journey of life, what we are supposed to actually learn is to become humble. If you see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has songs, we don't have time to sing, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur has songs which says, my dear Lord, I was so proud of my education, this, that. But now at my old age, Bhaktivinoda is humbled. So what is life is? Mature life means humbled. The story of Muhammad Ali, you know the story? Muhammad Ali was so powerful at this time, peak of his youth. So arrogant guy, said, Ali the greatest. Ali the greatest, greater than Allah also. This was his mood. But later, he developed Parkinson's disease. No control of his limbs also. And then Muhammad Ali said, I want to change. In all these years, my realization has come. I become mature. And he said, I want to change that statement. The statement now he says is, Ali, the greatest fool. I am the greatest fool because I was arrogant. So Vishwamitra was that self-made, arrogant man, who was like very proud that I am a king. I made it to Maharishi. I made all this. I got all these titles and accolades. People collect all these titles, positions. And then finally Vishwamitra understands all this is useless. All this is useless. There was one very famous rich guy in America. He says, my desire is everyone should become super rich. My desire is everyone should become a millionaire so that people understand that after you get there, there is nothing there. It's all useless. So we feel that there is something up there. So Vishwamitra climbed the ladder of success from being a king to be a Raja Rishi, Brahma Rishi, then Maharishi, finally. And after achieving all this, Vishwamitra understands this is all useless. And at this point, why is Vishwamitra come here? Vishwamitra is not come to take Ram to kill Maricha Subahu. Vishwamitra has actually come to take Ram so that privately he can surrender everything to Ram. And Vishwamitra, like a child, he surrenders to Lord Ram. And therefore, this section of the Ramayana is called Balakand, because Vishwamitra understands the maturity in life is to become like a child, understand that you're helpless in this world and you need Krishna. In the Bhagavatam first canto, when Ashwatthama has killed the 5 children of Draupadi, Arjuna is going to fight Ashwatthama, and Ashwatthama shoots that Brahmastra. Arjuna, who is such a powerful warrior, falls on his knees and is crying to Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Mahabahu, Bhaktaram Abhayankara, Krishna, you please protect. I am helpless in this world. So great people show us that we are actually helpless. We may feel we are proud. Prakate kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham inti manyate. Foolishly we think we are the doers, we are this, we are that. We are nothing. We are just an insignificant servant of God. And to come to this realization is actually the perfection. So Balakand is called Balakand because it is the journey of Vishwamitra to the perfection, to understand that I am servant of Ram. This is my only designation. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatven nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. We are all servants of God. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, when King Pratap Rudra, who's the king of Orissa, very powerful personality, very powerful title, when he comes to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu embraces King Pratap Rudra and he's asking Pratap Rudra, who are you? How does Pratap Rudra Maharaj introduce himself? You all can repeat this shloka after me. Raja kahe, Ami tomar daser anudas, Brittir Britya kara, Ei mora ash. So the king says, my dear Lord, I am not the king. I am the servant of your servant of your servant. And to remain servant of your servant of your servant is my only ambition. Mahaprabhu, when he was in front of Jagannath Rath Yatra, Mahaprabhu chanted this prayer. Naham vipro nacha narapati, napi shudro napi vaishyo na shudro, naham varni nacha grahapatir, na vanasto yatirva, kintu prodyam nikila parmananda purnamritabder, gopi bharatur padakamalayur, das 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 no das. This is our prayer. We are not Brahmana, we are not Kshatriya, we are not Vaishya, we are not Shudra, we are not Brahmachari, we are not Grahastha, we are not Sannyasi, we are not Vanaprastha. We are none of these things. We are only servant of the servant of Krishna. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu. That class was so wonderful. So many lessons at so much speed. It was very grateful, Prabhuji, for your association. Let us thank His Grace Achyut Gopal Prabhu by 3 times loudly chanting Hari.
And also, everyone is eager to know that one, whatever you call techniques are for japa meditation and all. Prabhuji has written one book on japa meditations. So next time, whenever you come, please have a help us. And
All of you are chanting. Sitting with all of you, my japa became better.
I have read that book. It's very wonderful book, and it is helped me in chanting. Actually, that's why I asked Prabhuji to help.
Online now it was there. I have to just see whether the link is still there. I'll try to get it.
So then next time, if you come, please give a lecture on how to do japa nicely.
Thank you very much.